You don't?
See, I see, big passion in your future.
You do?
I do.
Oh, Ross, you're so great.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. One of the best sitcoms to ever grace our screens, Friends, has an iconic stand in the Hall of Fame. If wholesomeness was a show, this would be it. And for more reasons than the obvious part of friendship. Just like every squad, this iconic group of six has the clown, the mother hen, the artistic one, the introvert, the extrovert, and the one who completes them all, aka Rachel. Rachel Green is a character that first appeared on screens in 1994, but over 2 decades later, she still remains a fond part of our lives. From runaway bride to business executive, Rachel's story is a Ferris wheel, and there's a lot to unpack beneath her beautiful smile and stylish looks.
Come on, you can't live off your parents your whole life.
I know that. That's why I was getting married.
In today's episode, we take a trip down memory lane to break down the psychology of Rachel Green. Make sure you watch this video to the end to find out why her relationship with Ross had to go through so many patches. Now, let's head into the breakdown of TV's favorite rich girl and fashion icon, Rachel Green. Growing up, Rachel was the it girl. She had everything, and anything she didn't have, she simply got with her daddy's limitless card. Rachel's family didn't function based on love as much as it did on money, status, and reputation. This definitely rubbed off on Rachel to a very large extent.
They're my new, I don't need a job, I don't need my parents, I've got great boots.
Rachel had lived a sheltered life, thanks to her father. She was a cheerleader in high school and stood at the top of the social ladder. She had been a bit of a bully without caring about the consequences. She was living in a shell made of gold. But it soon turned out to not be enough. Rachel had dreams, but the passion was lacking because everything came easy to her. So when she broke off her perfect wedding and left her perfect life behind, she wanted to experience true happiness far from the price tags.
It's a metaphor, Daddy!
Although she is the last friend to show up, Rachel quickly became the glue that tied all of them together. Her journey was a true coming-of-age story. Rachel left her husband-to-be, Barry, at the altar. She had the realization that she was setting herself up for life just like her mother's, rich, comfortable, and unfulfilled.
Anyway, I just had to get out of there and I started wondering, why am I doing this and who am I doing this for?
So she ran from the rather expensive wedding night and sought out her eccentric group of friends to help her find a new path. At first, Rachel was intolerable with her laziness and constant grieving of her past life. Although she was committed to the decision she made, old habits definitely die hard. Rachel was a spoilt brat, egoistic and self-absorbed. All side effects of being daddy's little girl, but she was faced with a new world and had to quickly learn to adapt.
Look! I cleaned!
And that was easier said than done. Rachel's background reflected a lot in her approach to her new life, right from the beginning. A lot of Rachel's personality stems from her upbringing. While she has her highs and lows, there is only one word that fully terms her behavior as closely as possible: narcissistic. Rachel is very beautiful. She doesn't forget it, and she doesn't let anyone else forget it either. As a high school student, she was so self-conscious about her nose that she got a nose job done.
They had to reduce it because of my deviated septum.
When it comes to her relationships, this obsession with appearance is so obvious in her choice of men to date, with the sole exception of Ross. And that's just one level of narcissism. Rachel has a large perspective of herself in terms of self-worth and expectation from others. She starts out as a brat who expects things to fall right into place for her. But that's not how life works. Rachel learns the value of hard work and rising above frustration and disappointment. Luckily, she is surrounded by her group of friends who understand her excesses. But that is not enough to excuse the fact that her inflated ego hurts even the people closest to her.
Why don't you think of someone else for a change?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Rachel has a sense of entitlement, and she hardly takes responsibility for her shortcomings. She is easily swayed and bullied, because she doesn't actually expect people to be that mean to her. But with the help of her friends, she learns to stand up for herself through a slow and gradual process.
You know, maybe I wasn't being clear. This was our car.
Hey, there aren't any clothes in it.
Hey, quit making up rules.
Let go. Come on, this is my car. You know I bought it first. You have nothing to do with this.
Her narcissism also dwindles as the show progresses, and she starts getting some real-life achievement, but not without several new challenges.
Wish me luck. What for? I'm gonna go get one of those job things.
Rachel Green was a spoiled brat through and through, but she was a focused person from start to finish. She had a lot of naive moments in the first couple of seasons, and she takes on a ditzy personality. But Rachel never looked back on her decision to live a different life than the one that she was brought up to want. She committed herself to every job she had, from being a waitress at the coffee shop up until she became a big shot executive at Ralph Lauren.
Okay. And a nice tea. I get pretty good at this.
Excellent.
Good for me.
Rachel never backed down from a challenge. She took a shot at anything and committed to it until she succeeded, and sometimes failed.
I wasn't supposed to put beef in the trifle.
In a way, this was important for her to prove to herself and everyone else that she was actually on the path to growth. When she gets pregnant after a one-night stand with Ross, she has a lot of fears and self-doubt about taking care of her daughter, but her resilient spirit shows up once again, and she excels at being a mother.
Like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Oh, Emma, you're laughing. Oh, you are. You really do like big butts.
She faces several challenges in her career: self-acceptance, friendships, and relationships, but she never stops trying. Her personality only continues to evolve throughout the show's seasons. Rachel is a good friend at the end of the day, and she would go to any lengths out of loyalty. As the show goes on, she grows into her true personality, a kind woman who takes joy in her work and friendships.
When they ask me what I saw, I can be very generous or very stingy.
By the end of the series, Rachel learns to appreciate her friends more. She values hard work and prides herself on making decisions that aren't based on personal interest only. This helps her friendships become stronger, her relationships get healthier, and she overall becomes a better person. Rachel could have given up on the stress and gone back to her father as a prodigal child, but she knew exactly what she wanted, and she went straight for it. And that is an admirable trait that applies to every other aspect of her life.
It's okay. Sometimes things don't work out the way you thought they would.
Rachel's friendships were the pivotal part of her psychological development. After all, it is called friends for a reason. But some of the relationships she had were important for her character arc. Starting with Barry, who she left at the altar.
You know, you were right. I thought we were happy. We weren't happy.
And he was a garbage human. Rachel later finds out that he had been cheating on her, even with her sister.
Now, this may hurt.
Me?
No. I went with Mindy.
Mindy? My maid of honor, Mindy?
Barry is the poster boy for everything Rachel left behind, and good riddance too. Then we have Joshua Bergen, the one she went after.
You know, it's funny, basketball, because I happen to have tickets to the... Who likes the Knicks?
Rachel's pursuit of Joshua showed her resilience, but it was also essential in defining her ultimate relationship with Ross. Introducing Tag Jones, the one who made us laugh.
According to my plan, I should already be with the guy that I'm gonna marry.
Rachel's relationship with Tag was light and funny, with just the right amount of chemistry. But Rachel had learned her lesson and gotten more mature, so she ended things on her 30th birthday. How iconic. And topping the ranks is our heartthrob and the second half of the greatest TV pairing of all time, Ross. The relationship between Ross and Rachel was the depiction of what it looks like when two adults are trying to make it work while balancing jobs, lives, families, and friendships, but they kept coming back to each other, sometimes with seasons spent apart, and it was just the perfect ending to a decade-long journey to self-realization for Rachel.
I mean, I'm probably 98% happy and maybe 2% jealous. And I mean, what's 2%? That's nothing.
Rachel Green was not the most appealing character in the beginning, but she grew into her best self with her friends. And to be honest, that's all that matters. Surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you and be willing to work on your goals. If Rachel could get past her head cheerleader phase and morph into a great mom, then it's possible to find positivity in anyone. Above all else, Friends is a vital lesson in love and friendship. Don't forget to value the people around you. And that's all for today. Thank you for joining us on the breakdown of Rachel Green's psychology. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.